Is the world headed for catastrophe? Or, most likely, is everyone going to be awestruck by Ainz's superiority? And probably also leading to the deaths of a few named characters. I don't want to call them sub-characters or background, but yeah, it's pretty much inevitable at this point, isn't it? All that's left is to wonder, how many are we going to lose? I have my suspicions, as I said last time, especially when they start getting all chummy and raising up a whole load of death flags. Out of the three main soldiery guys that we know of, being Gazeth, Brain, and Climb, I care least about Climb, but I'm guessing that the best of them all, the Gazeth. Let's see if I'm right. Unless it's all of them. Let's go. Some nice uniform animation there. Because that was the task he was given, and it keeps him relatively safe, potentially. As long as he doesn't start a fight with those that are under Nazarik's protection. But what do you have to offer him? I mean, you kind of have a plan there, but it doesn't paint you in a great light if you're willing to sacrifice the entire village. Although, to be fair, no one in this world is particularly squeaky clean. There are those that have excuses. It took me far too long to remember what that word was. Ainz himself being undead and devoid of a lot of human emotions, he's alright to just wipe off the face of the earth as many people as he wants. And you see, the preparations for war and the gathering of the soldiers, it's not something you usually see all that often. It's only in a few things that they actually bother kind of showing that premise. Because everyone's just clamouring to get to the actual action. But there seems to be a lot of diplomatical intrigue that this goes into. Albeit not very, in depth, but... Why isn't he carrying the bundle of sticks, I'm not going to use its technical term, on his back? She's going to have an aneurysm at some point if she doesn't calm down. Do you... Do you... Is she actually that strong, or did he throw? Or was she bestowed some power? No. No. Yeah, it was a ploy. What is with that face he's had? That'd be a bit much. He's trying, isn't he? Although, why do they always have to be so intent on sniffing like that? You didn't really put up much resistance, though, did you? Well, at least it was only him who got in the way there. Do you really need all those Death Knights guarding the tent? Well, I mean, that's maybe potentially some of what you thought, but should be easily in view of the knights there. Trying to get out of it that way, I guess, yeah. I mean, yeah, her acting. There, that house doesn't seem big enough to house all of the ogres that were just inside, but well. Is she given leave to act? Well, they'd have to have some sort of envoy to talk, but that's a bit of a quick. Yeah. And if your plan was to make him set out to be the bad guy, then if the entire place is made of wood, do you really think that? At least they've shown resolve and loyalty to Ainz. I thought the goblins were hiding. Yeah, they're not exactly painting themselves in a great light, are they? She's showing herself. She's had quite a few tasks since becoming chief, hasn't she? Is that possible? Yeah, they've surrounded you. And their goal wasn't exactly to let anyone go once they've said slaughter them all. To be fair, they don't really have a great load of strategic options. They can't afford to lose her. The thing is, they're getting the ones that actually need to survive out of the conflict. So, does it disappear once used? The enemy outside the gate seems to be quite lenient for just waiting and watching all the. Well, I mean, you could have let a few more in first. You've let your hand go a little early there. They could have sped up. That was oddly in sync. They could have sped up the animations by about 40% and it would look slightly better. For being royal soldiers, they don't have great morale when when their tides turn. Who said that was all of them, though? At least he's taken a grasp of the situation, so he's not dense. If you just weren't so hasty straight up. Do you really think that this is the actions that everyone would be okay with? We haven't really seen her in action either. Oh, history repeating itself, yeah. Do you really think he can do much? But he's trying. I mean, the horn itself is pretty good. Doesn't look like goblins. There's some light there. What would have shocked Ainz? The only thing I know of that colour is like the ice sword or Cacoctus. Unless it's some like angels or something. Ah, poor ogre. the entire force there hearing that. Oh. Oh wow. Okay, it is goblins, but oh wow. It's an entire battle formation in full clad armor. Who do you Who are you reminiscent of? I can't remember his name, but the ancient Chinese guy. Is it the same shields that the Death Knights use, just on a smaller scale? And he wasn't expecting it, so did her own power increase it, or did he make a mistake? Really? I mean, really? For goblins, they are, they look highly trained, and they've even got one of those units, I can't remember what they're called, but like You know, this whole thing could have been avoided, you know, mate. Using pole arms. I don't think they would bounce off like that, though. Goblin Wolf Riders. And who are you? Wow. Okay, you've... How many troops do you have? Because there's 5,000 outside the gates, and now you've... What next? Do you have a Terminator or something among the ranks? Okay, I understand now why he was so surprised at how she managed to call this entire army. How many of the village did you actually lose before the goblins arrived? 5. Okay. Goblin assassins. Nice. If the prince falls here, though... I mean, I can't disagree with night goblins, or those that look like them. Is he going to understand now that sometimes a bit of diplomacy and not haste is in order? The good thing about this, he is learning new things. So because she called the goblins before and became chief of the village, it increased the power? Or she was just a good summoner. But if that was the case, the first one should have brought more. Oh yes, he had this planned. Does look that way, doesn't it? I thought the assassins weren't going to let them leave. True. You could have used them as a bargaining chip, though. But I'm guessing if 5,000 was just a small detachment for the Royal Army, they wouldn't really want to face up against the full might of it. So, how's that next in line to the throne looking out for you? Oh no. True, the village couldn't risk killing him, but was she given orders for this? Once again, everyone does this. It's, huh, you think you're so great? Watch as everyone gets slaughtered. Oh no. Rather than just being careful in the beginning. Do you understand your mistakes now? Are we going to see this? Are we going to see Lupus Ragnar in action, or? So she's not going to fight them herself. They're already battered and bruised. No, we're not going to see it. You see, the thing is, we were... In a normal story, we were led to see that the slain bureaucracy were evil, the Empire were evil, and that the kingdom was somehow this kind of bastion of normality. And then you've got this occurrence, seem to undo that, and now the kingdom themselves are also looking somewhat evil. So, as per life, not everything is clear-cut, there is levels of grey among everything. And, in life and war, there is no good. At least the village is proving itself useful in various ways to Ainz. Not only being a bit of a strength, producing his potions, etc., etc., but showing him that items brought over from Yggdrasil can enhance. That is some very valuable knowledge. You see, with her being so... I'm not sure what the correct word would be, but she wasn't really enjoying being called chief by the members of the village and the goblins and Henry and whatnot. Not Henry. Neffy. Whatever. Now she's got an entire army to command. The most well, probably one of the most important takeaways from this episode is his, meaning Ainz's, new knowledge of the items. Because if an item that is meant to just summon 20 goblins can be strengthened, potentially due to the user itself, then what else in his possession could be a lot better than what it is now? And if the same is for world items, you can have a cataclysm on your hands. But then again, a single maid by herself is probably somewhat of a cataclysm under normal human limits. I would somewhat think that the prince himself would be sort of safe from this encounter, but at the same point, they have no need for him. Apart from as a bargaining chip later on, but they don't really need it. All they need is the Empire to basically engulf the kingdom and bring them under their own command. And then they'll have like once again, an ally, but really it's just a puppet alliance, isn't it? Plus, with the whole, look at what we did to your detachment and the prince, do you really want to go up against us again? Kind of thing. Especially since the main battle is due to be underway. That could be a funny interaction. While there was some definite visual inconsistencies and not exactly top tier CGI, I got the premise they were going for, so I think that's good enough. Well, I want to see more from each of the denizens of Nazarick themselves doing something in this world. However, I understand why they have to be rather subdued, because say if Lucas Rebner actually wiped out the entire squad herself, but someone noticed or someone saw, they'll be like, hang on a second, and it would bring unjust attention to them. But at the same point, it could be quite useful. But it will be interesting to see the next steps in the battle plan, especially since Ainz might himself be involved. Looking forward to it. Hopefully you are too. If you've enjoyed, please let me know. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can also check the description box for a link to the Discord so you can come in and tell me anything I've missed, or just call me names, why not? I'm pretty sure that, well, everyone else would kind of join in. But before any big battle, you're going to need some rest. And I'll see you in the next one.